It is a pulling machine! In more ways than one. And I'm licking along quite happily. Licking. Well, Tally Bally Ho, welcome to a review, finally. So this is the new Triumph Speed Twin, boom boom. Let me guess, it's a Thruxton in sheep's clothing, essentially. Same engine as the Thruxton, so same power, same torque, but it weighs 7 kilograms lighter. Oh yeah. Well, Tally Bally Ho, hello everybody, it's been a while. Awesome. Now, I've got it in sport mode. One of the things was, and it was dealt with with a software update on the Thruxton about a year ago, but this is a new bike. Basically, you've got 3 modes, rain, road and sport, just like the Thruxton. And the annoying thing was, it always defaulted back to road every time you turned the bike off and on again. And as you know, Bigglesworth, if you watched any of our trips together, kept forgetting to put his into sport. It has been remedied with a recent software update though. But yes, I turned this on earlier on and moved it to sport mode, and then when I just started up again it was already in sport mode, so obviously it's got the new software, which would make sense as it's a new motorcycle. So, the Speed Twin. Bigglesworth rode this last week when his bike was in for a service, and he said to me that it was insanely easy to ride, easier than the Thruxton, comfortable, and I have to agree with him. My legs aren't too wide, same tank as on the Thruxton, or at least it's the same size, it's 14.5 litres, which gets you a good 140 miles before you need to redo it. I'm sitting more upright than on the Thruxton. I'm probably, let me think, with the Thruxton, I'm about, my head is probably 4 or 5 inches further forwards, canted forwards because of the bars. But this, I'm not quite upright. I'm still leaning forward slightly. It's good for posture. Bars, perfect width apart. I feel very comfortable indeedy. Now, I haven't ridden a bike for 4 months, as I say, so I'm a bit rusty, so I'm going to keep it nice and gentle to start with. Said no one ever. Right, so, Tally Bally Ho, welcome to my review. Finally, a review of the Speed Twin, the Triumph Speed Twin. So, same engine as the Thruxton, same 97 PS, which is 96 brake or somewhere around there, as the Thruxton, same torque. The only difference I've spotted is that when it's, wee, roundy, bump, didn't even feel that. When it sounds just like the Thruxton as well. This has got the EU Vance and Hines on it. It hasn't got the decat that my old Thruxton had, but it sounds very familiar. Instantly familiar. Sitting upright very nicely. I like this Dogbone Speed Twin. That font is very sort of 70s really, and I think that's where they're going with the styling. It's kind of a bit square and blocky, which is more 70s than curvy 60s, but yeah, no, I like it. So twin dials, same modes, you've got a gear selector, you've got the clock, then you've got the 2 trips plus the average miles to the gallon, instantaneous miles to the gallon. Range is on this side, on the second LCD display. Also you've got your change modes there, you've got the mode button there. I'll go through that in the walk around, but it's very nice indeed. Nod to the old motorcyclist on the KTM there. Right, so I pulled that from 2. Now, Bigglesworth said that it really, oh, it does shift. Crikey, yes, that's rather splendid. It certainly feels very, very light, which is in contrast to the Thruxton's clip-ons lower down, and also your hands are probably a couple of inches closer together as well, so your leverage isn't quite there. For my American friends, leverage. Ha! Right. So we're going along the Leighton Buzzard Road. It's nice and windy. It's a fastish road. I'm watching out for junctions, of course, because as I am rusty, my situational awareness isn't going to be as tip-top as usual. But it's not bad. And that was a bit of low ground grunt in 4th gear. Look at that. Oh, beautifully done. So yes, sorry, Bigglesworth was saying when he tried it, it seemed to have longer rev range, but it doesn't. It redlines at 7, whereas the Thruxton bounces off the rev limiter at 7.5. But anyway, so where were we? Specifications-wise, the switch gear is exactly the same as the Thruxton. Nice flat top to the indicator. Now on the standard Thruxton and the Bonnies, you've got a pointed indicator thing, which annoys my thumb for some reason. But the flatter bit just feels smaller and easier to use. That's just my own personal preference. You've got the smoky brake reservoir, which is doable, but I like the CNC'd aluminium one. It's obviously not going to be any lighter than a plastic one, but risk! There's a risk in the road. He's a risk, especially with his wing mirror all taped up like that. It's fine. I think this is uber comfortable. Now, please do look back at my Street Scrambler video, because this is... Oh, pheasant! Fuck, shit! I didn't get it this time! It's alright, ladies and gentlemen. Hello. Pardon my interesting Chaucerian language there. At least I didn't say cunt. Right! So, here we go. I normally do about 60 to 65 round here on my Thruxton. Bear in mind I'm rusty. Get it over. That was 70. Effortless. Sodding effortless. Here we go. Whee! And the taller, slightly more commanding position, it's got nothing to do with seat height. The seat height, if anything, this is 5 millimeters lower. That's half a centimeter, which is basically a thumbnail. Lower. So it's not the seat height that's different. You feel more upright, you feel higher because of your seating position, I reckon. Also, the higher bars make you feel like you've got a more commanding position. A bit like riding a Tiger, but it isn't that high. There. And that is a 6th gear roll-on. It's beautiful. Ah, lovely. So we've got LED day running lights. Same setup, I believe. Ooh, I haven't checked actually. Now, it's either going to be like the Speedmaster or the Thruxton. The Thruxton has a smiley face down, and the Speedmaster has an LED light around the top, like an upside down horseshoe, you know. So, bit of a muddy road. It is dry. It's around about 11 degrees today. It's not too windy either. Quite a pleasant day for a ride. But I'm not finding this a struggle at all. Sometimes when you're on a naked bike, and I've always had naked bikes, so I'm used to the wind blast, but sometimes on a naked bike, you can really feel the blast on your chest if you're sitting too upright, you know, backwards like this, like on a Speedmaster or a bobber. And your front is slightly curved inwards, so it's like a parachute, it catches the air, but I'm sitting bolt upright, a bit like a cucumber up my arse, and but yeah, wind isn't an issue, because I'm, like on the Speed Triple, I am canted forward slightly, which helps with the greater wind. Now I'm doing 55 at the moment, which isn't obviously drag doubles between 60 miles an hour and 80 miles an hour because it's the square of the speed. So up to about 60 miles an hour, you're not going to feel much wind noise, but above that, wind noise, feel much wind drag resistance. Come on, rambunctious, you are rusty. Do not push yourself too much. Just get used to it. Are they a bit close? They're a bit close. Brakes wise, instead of the radial Brembo brakes on the front, it's got fixed. But there's still 4 pots on the front, twin discs. Clutch lever adjustability is a wheel there, and a wheel on the right for the front brake as well. And you have the tension here, there. So, yes, the brakes are obviously hydraulic, and the clutch is cable operated. But it's a slip assist clutch down at the bottom, so it's really light. And where's the... oh! In fact, the biting point's quite high up. You don't have to pull the lever in much at all, so it's good. It's got... it is effortless. This is a really good fun bike. And being more upright is practical too. So there we go, going along at a bit of a lick. And the wind isn't an issue. Now this is a bit bumpy and a bit gravelly. And yeah, enjoying it. Trying to keep loose. It's been a while. Way bumpy to bump. It's really nice. So we've got no adjustability on the front by the looks of things. I think we've just got preload on the back. Again, I will double check. Now, this is called the Speed Twin. Does anyone think that they might have a Speed Twin R coming out at some point? That does seem to be a Triumph trend, doesn't it? Let's face it. It is pretty much what they tend to do. Yeah. Oh, there's a nice burble. It isn't as backfirey or... oh, there's a nice overrun there. Isn't quite as burbly as on my old Thruxton, but again that had the catalytic converter removed. Shh, don't tell anyone, legal. It's got a nice rorty sound to it. It's got the 270 firing interval, which is kind of a false way of giving it a bit of a pop and a fart. Bit of a lumpy sound to it, but it's got more than enough torque to just spin up very nicely. Right, so this is my bumpy road. So far, the Triumph Trophy, I think, had the smoothest ride. So this tests out the old suspension, especially in damping and rebound. It's all right. It's very comfy. Twin springs on the back. You'll see that in the walk around. Good engine braking. Ooh, a few pops there. Full throttle goes well. Oh, now it's bumpy. Right, so along here, 65. Sorry, 60. Yeah. Oh, the bumps are definitely there. They're not uncomfortable, though. A bit jarring, but I can't feel them through my wrists. It's all through the old derriere. So, one would have to say the front suspension is nicely set up. Tell you what, there's no one behind me. The road is fairly okay, so... yeah, that's good. Good braking. 2-finger braking is more than sufficient, by the way. Whee! Oh, very easy to get hold of the side stand. Bye! Hello and welcome to my review of the Speed Twin. Now, I mentioned earlier on that it's a bit 70s style. I mean, it's very street twin actually, but it's just a bit squarer than the Bonnevilles. It's got a bit more modern, a few more modern touches to it. There's lots of lines on it. I'll show you, go through it all in a bit. But see how the cam cover is grey to match the grey of the tank underneath. So there's a line of colour there. There's a line from the cylinder head going along here, silver, all the way into the Speed Twin there. So design-wise, it's very liney. And even on the bezel of the headlight, you've got these lines, stripes, parallel lines, whatever you want to call it. That's all very good, isn't it? So the front, you've got chunky forks. They are cartridge forks, so they're non-adjustable, but they're very good, as I mentioned in the bumpy road section. There are 2 modifications that this bike has from standard, and that is the LED indicators, and the Vance & Hines EU spec slip-ons, which means that they you can't remove the baffles. Okay, obviously it's chain driven, but let's start at the front. So, twin discs with fixed 4-pot Brembo calipers. Cast wheels, 7 spokes. A nice feature, as always, is the 90-degree angled tyre pressure valve. It's a nice shiny silver, is it? I think that's metal. I do declare that's metal, not plastic. These are the nice brackets for the headlight that you get on the Thruxton, not on the Bonnevilles. The Bonnevilles have sort of a black cast solid piece, which is I mean, it's all right, but it's not as nice as that, is it? Light-wise, yes, it's got the Thruxton headlight with the U of the LEDs underneath. So let's have a quick look. There we go. Just like that, you see? It's good, isn't it? And obviously with the headlight, you get it like that. So half headlight at the top, LEDs around the bottom. Very nice. So yeah, top of the forks, non-adjustable. Now we've got the Brembo adjustable brake levers, adjustable with that knob there. The Brembo logo there. Bleeding nipple on top. I just said that because I wanted to say nipple, let's face it. Standard mirrors these days, there's sort of this powdered finish, nice and solid, but it's what you get on the Speed Triple. That sort of oval with a squared off end shape. Switch gear wise, you've got the flasher on the front. Now if you've got your headlights on, that just changes from main beam to dipped. If you've just got the LED lights on, then that flashes like that, you see. Adjustable clutch lever with the knob there. LED day running lights to dipped headlight. Information button. Indicator, see it's got a square end, which makes it nice and easy to use. Horn. Let's annoy the locals, shall we? Nice cheap moped sounding horn. And the mode button. This side, you've got what's used a lot these days with the cut-off switch, is also a rocker switch for starting the engine as well. And hazard lights, there we go. And I won't make the Harley joke about hazard lights. And you've got the plastic brake reservoir there. The thing I liked earlier is this sort of almost Robocop font for Speed Twin. So I suppose 80s. I was saying it was 70s, but Robocop was 80s, wasn't it? 82 or something. So, I don't know, but it's nice. And it gets in the... Obviously with the raised bits here of the bar, it is much higher up than the Thruxton. So you're probably looking at a good 5 or 6 inches higher than on the Thruxton bars, and obviously they're wider as well. Obviously you can get heated grips as well as an accessory. And again, I keep saying this, but you might not have seen my other Triumph reviews. The finish of the paint, it's this sort of powder coating finish. It's very nice indeed. Quick Triumph logo on the seat there. More than comfortable. It's a nice bench seat, but you can get different seats. You can get comfort seats, diamond stitching and all that sort of thing. Tank-wise, it's a 14.5 litre tank, as I said. And you've got the Triumph Monza filler cap with a key there, so that's the same as the Thruxton R as well. And you can remove those running in stickers as and when you've run it in, really, I suppose. This brushed finish can pit, so keep it clean. Bit of WD-40 or ACF50 will keep that nice and in good condition. Same frame by the looks of things as on the Thruxton. You've got a bracket there which you don't have on the Thruxton for the engine to attach. So I can't remember how the engine attaches to the frame on the Thruxton, so it might be a bit different. 1200 Bonneville high power engine, so it is the same. You can get obviously a CNC aluminium oil filler cap if you want to. This, I think, and this they might have sprayed this black. That might have been silver to start with, but it keeps that silver line design-wise across very nicely. The pegs and brake lever are the same on the Thruxton, and you've got this single aluminium swing arm as on the Thruxton. But here we go. You've just got the rear shocks adjustability are just for preload only. 120 mil of travel, I believe. And here we are, the Vance & Hines brushed pipes, same as the ones I had on my Thruxton. You've got an oil sight glass down here, which is great because it means you don't have to dip a hot dipstick. That's, again, that font. It is Robocop font, isn't it? I think so. You've got the nice touches like the old school spark plug leads. And this isn't a tail tidy. That's the standard mudguard. It's quite nice, isn't it? And it's, again, metal, brushed metal. It looks, whoops, got it muddy. It looks quite nice. But yes, the LED indicators are non-standard. But yeah, that isn't without a tail tidy. So with a tail tidy, you could probably... Well, you don't need one, do you? That's really nice. Rear wheels, very nice. It's not spokes, so it won't corrode. Single piston on the rear brake with the caliper underneath. You wouldn't want that if you're going off-road because it would hit rocks and stuff, but you're not going to go off-road. It's a speed twin. It's for road use. This side, you've got the Triumph embellishers. You can change that there. So it hasn't got the fake carbs because it doesn't need them. So a bit like the street twin in that respect. But you have got the clutch case embellisher there that you can change to. You've got the header fins, which apparently do dissipate some heat. So they're not just there for fun. But you've got your lambda sensors that screw into that. And I suggest you don't take the lambda sensors out because I had a real problem with that. Because when they remapped the engine, it didn't like it because it couldn't recalibrate itself. And yeah, there we go, handsome looking beast. Right, so I've been through this ad infinitum. However, let's do it for the speed twin. It's the same as a Thruxton essentially, apart from one difference, and that is on the left-hand side as I go through the information. So pressing the information button on the left-hand screen, traction control on. I could turn it off if I hold the button down now, but when you're driving along, that TC orange light will just keep flicking. Will just stay on whilst you're riding. So yeah, it doesn't matter. But that's if you don't like the traction control, really. You've got the gear selector. There's your odometer. It's done 730 miles and it has had its 500 mile service. Trip 1, trip 2, instantaneous miles to the gallon. So that's my average. I reset that as I left. So normal riding, 48.8. That's not bad because I have been using the throttle a little bit more liberally than usual. Miles an hour around the outside, kilometres per hour on the inside. But if a policeman's looking, that's all kilometres per hour. Nice shiny brushed metal as you get on the Thruxton. Then you've got the clock. That's pretty much how I have it all the time. And then back to traction control on. So that's the information. Now over to the other side, you've got range to go, top right, which is 108 miles still. So I haven't really been pinning it much. Don't need the indicator on, do I? Nice and bright, these LED indicators as well. Phil 480 has mentioned how amazingly bright they are when riding behind me, and he's tempted to get them put on his Scrambler, but unfortunately the loom's wrong, so he needs lots of different resistors and stuff. The mode at the bottom, it says Sport. Press Mode, it'll flash, Rain, Road, and then back to Sport. Just one press. If you're going along, though, you need to roll off and pull the clutch in for it to change. So you can change mode on the fly, as it were. That's it. That is it. Very simple. Does the job. Lovely. Immobilizer in the key as well, but it hasn't got an alarm as standard. That would fit under the seat. Under here there's a lock. You put the key in. No shit, Sherlock. And you lift the seat up. And backwards, I do declare. There we go. So it's all a bit busy under here, isn't it? Eh? Right. So, but the main thing for showing you this is, look, there's a USB outlet here. So here we go. The rubber's quite tight. So there's USB charging there. So you could plug the wire in there, get a long wire, put it up to your phone on the handlebars or whatever dock you've got on there. This is the sort of SCART lead thing for remapping the engine. And there's your fuses there. But anyway, as you can see, there's no room underneath the seat for storage. But that's what the flat seat is for either Krieger soft bags. You've got room for panniers. They'll fit on the sides of the shocks quite nicely. They shouldn't rub if you get the proper ones. If you were to do a tail tidy and you were going to do it yourself, don't undo that. That's the lock mechanism. But these 4 bolts, you do undo to drop the mudguard off, okay? And that's how you do that. Lovely. Right, back to the review. Bye. Right, here we go. Exhaust ejaculation. Ready? Lovely. Yeah, similar to the Thruxton basically, but the seating position is so effortless and comfortable. It feels so easy to ride. It wants to lift a bit under full throttle in first and second, but it doesn't. It's very planted. But because it feels like a tall bike, it's so much fun, and you can move around on it. The seat, you can move right back. They've got so much room to move around, but it's not like a triple where you need the seat to keep you in position. Okay, red line at 7.5, same as the Thruxton. But the red line itself on the dial starts at 7. So, very similar to the Thruxton. Pretty much the same, but better looks? No, I prefer the classic. Well, you know me, I prefer the classical look of the Thruxton R. Although the Thruxton R itself doesn't look as classical as the standard Thruxton because of those modern suspension bits and bobs. But yes, this is a very, very pleasant ride. The delivery is smooth and very predictable. Oh, it's lovely. Oh, lovely, deep and throaty through those walls. Yes, I said deep and throaty. Ha ha! So this, it's so effortless. I feel, I don't know if you remember, but on the Street Scrambler video, I said how effortless it was. It's not quite as light as that. It's 190, I want to say 196 kilograms dry, which is 7 kilograms lighter than the Thruxton. And you can't feel it really. It feels a lot lighter, but that could just be the higher bars, the better geometry, and the wider bars, obviously giving you more leverage. But it's so much fun. So idles along at just under 1,000 revs, burbling away. It's nice and fluid. It's not struggling. It's not going da-jun, da-jun, da-jun. It's a nice setup for it. Now, so Thruxton R. You ready for this? Thruxton R is 12.5. Just have a guess what this is. No, you're wrong. £10,500. That's £2,000 or £3,000 cheaper than the Speed Triple. 2,000 cheaper than the Thruxton. £10,500. Throw accessories at it, you've still got basically the same bike that's more practical. It's got more of a bench seat. It's nowhere near as pretty. I'll give you that. I am a Thruxton R enthusiast. Oh, still indicating, dickhead. Oh, it hasn't got self-cancelling indicators then. Neither did the Thruxton R though, so it's a Speed Twin. It is so fun. It's as fast as the Thruxton R. It doesn't look as pretty. It's cheaper though, and it's an awful lot of motorcycle for that price range. I mean, the Speed Triple is a hooligan bike, but a serious weapon. Oh God, I'm still editing that video 4 months later because I'm having to blur everything. Ugh, that's a bane of my existence, that particular video. But yeah, this thing is a lot more manageable oomph. You still get blips of excitement when you floor it in first or second. So let's see now what the dual carriageway is like. It's no vibe. Oh, that people used to complain about vibes. So vibe, it's vibey. Where was it? It's vibey there. 5,000. So, going along at a similar sort of speed that I used to go along on my Thruxton along here. I'm leaning forwards, duh, but it's very, very comfortable. Got my knees nicely braced into the tank. It's very comfortable. So, let's go back slow again. Normal, I say normal, indicated just a little over 70. Normal cruising speeds on a dual carriageway, everyday riding, wind buffet. None. Nope. I mean, I've got a quiet helmet and I've got earplugs in, but ultimately, that is... How long can I do this for? Hours. Comfy too. The seat is very comfy on my bottom. These bumps, little joins in the road, mended potholes and all that, just effortlessly screaming over them, nice and smooth. Now, I said it was vibey at about 5,000 RPM, but actually, so let's change down to go this speed at 5,000. Here we go. No, nothing through the hands here, so it really is just in the lower gears. If you sit at 5,000 RPM in the lower gears, it's a bit vibey through the palms of the hands. But actually, this is fine. This is lovely. And I do feel more upright than on the Thruxton. So I feel a bit more safe, a bit more commanding. I've got a better all-round view. When I look over my shoulder, I'm genuinely looking over my shoulder rather than just tucking down. Because I'm not... I think... So up here, this is where I am comfortable on this. On the Thruxton, I'm like that. So I don't know if you can see the difference, but that is... I feel it's about half lean forwards. It's quite a bit. But this is 6. Lovely little roll on there. So if I go down to 70, no one's behind me. Pit it. 80. 90. It's fine. I mean, what more could you want, really? I was just overtaking that car, you see. That's why I did that. And I'm going no faster than that BMW ahead, you see. So just making progress, sir, Your Honour. Just making progress. I do like it. Yes. Yes. So, big question is, because I'm up for a bike and I'm thinking of getting one in September due to the number plate. Yes, I'm childish. So, oh my goodness, the Nissan Micra just overtook me. How dare it? So I'm thinking, there's such a pretty green Thruxton R, and it's British green. It's a British bike, sort of, and it's with the yellow forks and suspension. It's a bit Lotus colour, the old green and yellow Lotus colour, which I love, which is British. So, but practicality, these wheels won't corrode, they aren't spokes. Probably, if you were just doing to commute, you could easily get 50 miles to the gallon, which would be a real range of 150 miles before fills. That was the other thing, the light used to come on at about 120 miles on my Thruxton. But when I was filling it up, I could only get about 9 or 10 litres in, and it's a 14.5 litre tank, so there's plenty left. I like this. The tank is beautiful. It's like the Thruxton. It's a sort of, it's kind of a lacquered, but sparkly, grainy, grey silver. It'd be difficult. I would need to see it in the sunshine. And it's got really nice bits to it, like the fork gaiters. But it's got the Thruxton R switchgear, which that's what put me off the old Thruxton, really. I mean, yes, obviously I was enamoured and in love with the idea of fully adjustable suspension. In 2 years, did I adjust it once? No. I meant to. Many times I meant to. And I meant to take it on a track. Didn't find time. Mind you, another child came along, so there we go. That's that one. This suspension setup is lovely. Really is. Let's go off here. Oh, anchors! Yeah, they were good. Not much dive. And really responsive. Lots of feel. Whee! Oh, the front wanted to pick up there. It is a pulling machine! In more ways than one. This pickup, I've just wanged it. And I'm over bumpy roads. And that was comfortable. Thruxton, I'd have, because you're leant forward a bit more and the narrow seat digs into just the inside of your thigh near your bollocks a little bit, those bumps would have sort of caught a bit there, but that was... Oh, it's not quite as effortless as a street twin, but it is bloody close. And it is only 10 kilograms heavier than a street twin, and the engine is 300cc bigger, with more sound, more oomph, more... 40 brake horsepower more? This is just so much fun. By the way, I don't know where I'm going. It's quite fun though. Hello! Well, so, here we are on a bit more of a scrambly road, because I'm being a numpty, but with the upright position. Now, on the Thruxton, this would all be on my wrists, and all these bumps would be bang, 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 bang on my wrists, and you can cope with it for about 5 to 10 minutes, but already I can tell that this, look, gravel, whee, already I can tell on this, it's so much better on my wrists. So if you get old, which I will, and am, so comfortable to get on and off, it's just the right height for me. And room on the back, if I had a bird on the back, that is such a long tapering seat, they would have lots of room. They really would. It's a good bike the way it's just set up now. I have no idea what the preload settings are in it. Oh, nice house. Ooh. I think that's this trick on this bike really. It's got all the fun of a Thruxton, if not a little bit more fun, because it's more effortless and more comfortable. So, pros. It's cheaper, handling is better. So, a very bumpy, shitty road with mud on it, and I'm licking along quite happily. Licking. Got a good lick on, yeah, rather. Quality. Over the Thruxton, the quality is the same, except for the fact you've got bits that won't corrode. The engine cases aren't brushed aluminium, which obviously being brushed, they thank you very much. Being brushed, they capture dirt more easily, which could then corrode or create rust or pitting or whatever. But they're already powder coated, so you've got that benefit. For me, as a Thruxton R lover, there's no other word for it, this could win me over. I suppose comfort, practicality with luggage space, long seat and all that kind of stuff, although I carried quite a bit on the back of the Thruxton with the dual comfort seat. The suspension, I mean, I never played with the R suspension, which is a shame. It's got the same burble. Oh, bollocks. Whee! Bounced over that speed bump. The rear suspension didn't even bottom out, it just went smoothly down. That was lovely. It's nowhere near as pretty. For me, it's the looks. I put up with the slight discomfort on a really long journey, but then being manly, I liked the effort you had to put in and slightly stiff shoulders and wrists after a long ride. This, for me, is the perfect motorcycle because it's not low like a Speedmaster, so you're not hurting your lower back. Position is perfect. Yeah, for me, this is the perfect motorcycle. It just doesn't look like a Thruxton. So there you go. What a conclusion. A bloody nice bike. Well done, Triumph. And well done for not taming it from the Thruxton spec. Tiny Bally Ho, I'm back. Thank you very much for watching. Please like, comment, share and subscribe. Here's to an excellent 2019 and the year of the number plate that will be 69. Bye! Tally Bally Ho, thanks for watching. Nice bike. So, Captain's log, additional 1, no doubt there'll be more, although there isn't much time for more. I've averaged 47 miles to the gallon, with hooning and indeed as well, and slow riding and changing gear and all that fun stuff. So, lots of accelerating. So actually, real world motorway commuting or cruising, you're going to get 55 miles to the gallon, no problem, which is a real world range of more than 150 miles. Anyway, Tally Bally Ho, thanks for watching, bye.